Hello and welcome back to the Physical Media and Nostalgia channel, where I like to travel back to the 80s and 90s for a short period and pretend that I'm not that far over the hill. If you occasionally like to forget about the daily grind and remember the music, movies, TV shows and the toys of your childhood, this could be the channel for you. Before I dive into today's topic, let me address a couple of questions that have come up over the past couple of videos. No, this is not a Harry Potter Gryffindor scarf. It's a Motherwell Football Club scarf, the same as this shirt. And yes, I am Scottish. My accent is Scottish. No, I don't live in Glasgow. I live about 25 miles south of Glasgow. Today's TV show, Fraggle Rock. Fraggle Rock was a puppet show from the legendary Jim Henson of the Muppets fame, but it was a collaboration between Henson and Television South in the UK, CBC Television in Canada and HBO in the States. The show was intended from the start to be international, with human interactions filmed involving different segments filmed to fit different international markets that the show was to be shown in. Debuting in 1983 and filmed in Toronto, Canada, Henson described the Fraggle Rock series as a high-energy, raucous musical romp with a lot of silliness. It's wonderful. The programme proved a hit with audiences of all ages and used the fantasy creatures as an allegory to deal with serious issues such as prejudice, spirituality, personal identity, the environment and social conflict. The international nature of the collaboration saw production of the human wraparound segments filmed locally in the countries where the show was to air to help viewers relate to the show better. The British version of the show depicted Fraggle Rock as an island with a lighthouse, footage of St Anthony's Lighthouse near Falmouth in Cornwall being used as Fraggle Rock. The lighthouse keeper, known as the Captain, was played by Fulton Mackay, probably best known for his role as Mr Mackay, the fearsome prison officer in the classic British sitcom Porridge, along with the late great Ronnie Barker. The Captain lived with his dog Sprocket and was a retired sailor. Unfortunately, Mackay passed away before the filming of the third series and was replaced by John Gordon Sinclair, star of the Scottish film Gregory's Girl, who played PK, the Captain's nephew, and in the fourth series by Simon O'Brien as BJ, the son of the lighthouse owner. The North American version saw an inventor named Doc, played by Jerry Parks, star of The Littlest Hobo and Cagney and Lacey, again with a dog named Sprocket. This wraparound was also used in Australia, New Zealand, the Netherlands, the Republic of Ireland, Scandinavia, Spain, Japan, Eastern Europe. The Dutch, Scandinavian, Spanish, Japanese and Eastern European shows were dubbed into their respective languages. There was also a French and German versions, but as I've only ever seen the UK and some of the North American versions, I can't really comment on those. The four main species in the show were Fraggles, Doozers, Grogs and Silly Creatures. Fraggles are small, around 22 inches tall, colourful and have fur-tipped tails. Fraggles live a carefree life, spending most of it playing, exploring and just enjoying themselves due to their 30-minute work week. Doozers, the second species that live in Fraggle Rock, are small green humanoids around 6 inches tall. They're pretty much the opposite of the Fraggles, dedicated to building scaffold-like structures throughout Fraggle Rock, using miniature construction equipment and dressing in hard hats and work boots. The building material being a candy-like substance made from radishes, and a favourite food of the Fraggles. Fraggles eating this proved to be the only real interaction between the Fraggles and the Doozers. Grogs, outside of Fraggle Rock, live a family of Grogs. Fat, furry humanoid creatures, around 180 inches tall. Ma and Pa of the family think of themselves as the king and queen of the universe, and their son Junior as the prince. But they are, in fact, just simple farmers growing radishes, although Pa claims to have ruled for 742 years. The Grogs consider Fraggles to be pests, as they're constantly trying to steal the radishes. The silly creatures are the humans. Well, in the British version, the Captain, and the US version Doc, with access to the outside world, or outer space as the Fraggles call it, through a hole in the wall into the lighthouse or Doc's workshop, depending on which version. There are 5 main Fraggles that we follow throughout the show: Gobo, Moki, Wembley, Boober and Red. A tight-knit group of friends, but all with distinct personalities. Gobo is the leader of the group, usually level-headed and practical for a Fraggle. He plays guitar made from a gourd, and often goes on trips to explore the lesser-known tunnels of Fraggle Rock, more out of a sense of obligation and admiration for his uncle travelling Matt than from a personal inclination, but he nevertheless enjoys these adventures. Moki, a highly spiritual and artistic hippie of the group. Though spiritual and serene, Moki has the dangerous job of procuring radishes from the Grog's garden. Wembley, Gobo's roommate and best friend, is the youngest of the Fraggle Five. He often appears nervous and pathologically indecisive, mostly because he doesn't really want to hurt anyone's feelings. Starting with the episode The 30-Minute Work Week, and in later episodes, Wembley works with the fire department as their siren. Boober is by far the Rock's most intelligent Fraggle, as well as the smallest of the five, but often too smart for his own good. His cardinal traits include depression and worry, and as the Fraggle who does everybody's laundry, he most enjoys washing socks, even although Fraggles always go barefoot. Boober almost always expresses a nervous, cautious attitude and displays hypochondriac tendencies, and he's apparently allergic to dogs, and he expresses deeply ingrained superstitions, although he has shown that he can temporarily overcome the fears, usually if his friends are at risk. He has so much knowledge that he's actually a capable medic to the other Fraggles, as evidenced in the later series. When not doing the laundry, Boober is an avid reader and likes to share his talent as a chef, and with his knack for the harmonica has a penchant for singing and playing the blues. Red has an exuberant and athletic nature, in contrast to her best friend Moki. She is one of the best swimmers among the Fraggles. She's also highly critical of her friends' plans and ideas, and often teases Gobo about his uncle travelling Matt, occasionally yawning when he starts reading postcards, or incensing Gobo by calling Matt's adventures fiction fairy tales. While on the surface she tends to be competitive, stubborn and arrogant, and rather insensitive, on the inside she's proven to be one of the friendliest Fraggles, perhaps second only to Wembley. Red, like Gobo, wants to be in control, and there's often friction between them over who should be the one in charge. Although she has admitted that she secretly admires Gobo, and the two are mostly playful with each other. During the course of the show, Red and Moki become roommates, and they get off to a rocky start before improving their friendship. Outside of the main five, there's Uncle Travelling Matt, Gobo's famous, as well as rather pompous, clumsy and absent-minded explorer uncle who spends most of the series in outer space, the Fraggle's perspective of the human world, and sends back postcards to his nephew describing his adventures. He interacts and often ends up interfering with the daily lives of humans. I hope you've enjoyed this little overview of the show, and if you have, give the video a wee thumbs up or even a comment. It's much appreciated. Until the next video, thanks and take care.